We're talking very much welcome. We're excited for that. But hi, everyone. My name is Teresa Parks. I'm one of the assistant directors here at the Career Center. And I am co-hosting and facilitating this with my cohort, Chloe Edger. Say hi to the people, Chloe. Um,
Hello.
we just want to thank you guys for joining us tonight. This is our inaugural employer pitch night. And so, woo! And we're really excited about this new endeavor because it's our hope that this is going to be an opportunity for students and employers to connect more effectively. And that's going to be something where everyone wins. So just a little housekeeping and the set expectations for the students just coming in. We already gave the employers a little bit of a rundown, but the way that we have this set up is that we're going to give each of these employers about 10 minutes to present to you guys, talk about their companies, talk about some of the opportunities that they have available, what their hiring or application process may look like, some requirements, just to give you guys a little insight. Maybe even talk a little bit about specific skills, experience, or educational training that they would love to have somebody bring to the table. We do have one employer that's going to be joining us for a little bit later in the presentations. So once she comes in, she'll fall into the rotation. But once everyone has presented to you students about their opportunities, we have some breakout rooms that are set up. The students, the employers are going to go into each of the breakout rooms, and then you guys will be able to go into those breakout rooms and talk a little more in depth and individually with each of those employers that have caught your interest and that you think you could see yourself working for. So with that, Chloe's just going to give you guys a little rundown of which employers we have here for you guys, and then we'll get you started and let's hear all the goodness.
Awesome. Thank you, Teresa. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce our first candidate, Carolyn Sanchez. She is coming to us from Ascension Via Christi. Caroline, go ahead and take it away for us.
Hello, good evening. Thank you for joining us. As Teresa, I have to get everybody's name right. As Teresa said, this is their first time, and I am so excited to be a part of it. I work extremely closely with the university. I am a talent advisor to Ascension Via Christi in Manhattan, Kansas. It's the hospital right across the street from you guys. Just walk out the door and you see the field, and we're there on College Boulevard. And we love our students. I hire a good number of students, even if I don't hire them into the field that they're going to be going into, it gives them hospital experience or it gives them clinic experience. And that experience is worth its weight in gold, if you will, because you can take that and learn from that into your specialized career that you're going to have. So with that, I'd like to say that Via Christi is our largest not-for-profit healthcare provider in the state of Kansas. And because we are Ascension Via Christi, Ascension is the second largest healthcare provider not-for-profit in the United States. So you are like rubbing elbows with the best of the best of the best when you come to us. And it has been a privilege on the 22nd of January to have been with Via Christi for 18 years. So I am so excited to say we're still here, we're still going strong, and I love my employer. And that's the big thing. I get asked that a lot. Why do you stay? I stay because, and if these things are important to you, I hope that you'll go in our breakout session and visit with me a little bit more about this. It's because of the fact of the way the people are treated, be it an internal customer, that would be me because I'm an employee, or an external customer, that would be our patients that are coming in, or our students that are coming into shadow, or anybody that touches us. It's the respect, the dignity that we give people. So it's the people that I stay for. I stay because they mean a lot. What they do is so super important. For 15 years of my work life, I worked at another entity and I work ER. And I cannot tell you now, being with Ascension, I would love to take what we hold as as our power, basically, because we know how to treat people, we know how to treat what's wrong with you, and we'll be kind and gentle to you as we do it. That we took that, and I'd like to have taken that back to this other company and said, "Nah, you're not doing it right. Got to do it the way Ascension does it," because people care and people matter, and it's just that whole thing. So back to that, back to Ascension Via Christi. We are labeled as a rural hospital. There's a lot to that, and if you don't know anything about a rural hospital, take a minute, grab your beverage of choice and Google about rural hospitals. They're wonderful. They're where a lot of people get their foundation to grow into those bigger Mayo Clinic type of hospitals. I hire for all of the hospital positions that they have, except for dietary and like grounds and environmental services and lab. Lab is not part of my wheelhouse, and it is done by a third party for us. And I know that there's a lot of people, I talk to a lot of students almost on a daily basis about they're in biology or they're in chemistry, or how does this, I mean, doing kinesiology, how does that do? And I always try to take the time to visit with them about, let's look outside the box. Let's look at those skills that are transferable at what you're doing. You might be sitting in a classroom and you're learning from a book, but you know something? You're learning. Let's take those skills and let's transfer them to some of the positions I have. Now, a lot of my positions at the hospital do require licenses, but that doesn't mean we don't have assistant positions where you can tap into them. So I hope that you join me in my breakout sessions, and I hope I get to know you. And if not, take my name down, Carolyn Sanchez. I'm the only one that there is in the Manhattan and Wamego area at Ascension Via Christi, and I would love to help you on your career choice. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Caroline. We appreciate it. I had an
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Chloe, you're on mute.
Oh, sorry. Can you all hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you now. What did
Oh,
you
the
say?
awkward Zoom
Sorry.
pause. I love it. Thank you all for bearing with me. So I had the opportunity to meet with, I guess through email, Caroline, and just talk to her a little bit about what positions that, not an exhaustive list, but that are offered there. And I did post those in the chat. Again, feel free to take a look at those and talk to her about those opportunities and anything else that would really bring out the skills and experiences that they're looking for at that hospital. Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
Alrighty. Yeah, absolutely. All right, next up we have Jackie Hinkle, who is with us here from Merck Animal Health. Jackie, take it away.
Yes, and thank you so much. I'm going to try to share some slides. So please let me know if you can see them.
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, so thank you for having me. My name is, as Chloe said, Jackie Hinkle. I'm the Associate HR Director for the US and Canada Division of Merck Animal Health. I'm located in the Lenexa, Kansas office, which is where all of our executives that work with the Animal Health Division are located, with a few minor exceptions. So it's pretty exciting. And I have to say this, because I think this is, like I said, this is why I was asked to be here tonight, is that I am a very proud K-State alumni. So go Cats. I cannot tell you what a wonderful time I had in Manhattan. So I really hope you all are enjoying your time there and, you know, continue to do that. But I want to talk to you a little bit about Merck, and I have not been with Merck for decades. I've been there for close to 5 years now, and I wish I would have been there for decades, because what I will tell you about Merck is it is a fascinating place to work. And unlike other, I've always worked for very large companies. Unlike other large companies, especially in the animal health sector, you will find our culture is, I think, really what sets us apart. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about culture, but I'm also going to talk to you about our business, because of course we are a very large company, and we have a lot of divisions, which is great. It can be a little confusing as well, but it also means opportunity, which as a young person joining the workforce, I think is very important to keep in mind that if you can find a work home that you can grow with and develop and that invests in you, where you can spend your entire career, that's the best possible answer. And Merck is definitely one of those places. So I will see if I can get my slides to advance. So on the animal health side, we really focus on, and it's our catchphrase, the science of healthier animals. We talk about, we have the clients that you pet, and we have the clients that you eat. So we have, our four-legged friends, our dogs and our cats. And then we have the side of the business that works with food, right? So the cattle and the poultry and the swine, and even we have a very interesting division that a lot of people don't know about, the aqua division. And additionally, one of the biggest growing parts of our business is actually technology. And I can answer some questions about that later if you have inquiries, but I'm going to give you just kind of a teaser and say, think Fitbits for cows. It's a real thing, and it's a big part of our business. The idea is to provide a reliable, healthy food source for the world. Okay, so areas that we focus on, again, as I mentioned, I'm on the animal health side, but we have an enormous human health side with some products that you've probably seen advertised on TV, like Gardasil is one. Some cancer drugs. Hopefully you never need one, but if you do, we have those. So we have an incredible pipeline, some very, very successful pharmaceuticals. And again, Merck has been around for well over 100 years, and we have a history of success. So it's a very stable company, and it's exciting to see the things we have coming in the future. So tons of areas to specialize in. But again, you don't have to be a doctor or a nurse or a pharmacist or a veterinarian. I'm in human resources, and I absolutely love that I work for a company that helps keep my dogs and my cats healthy. So it's a very exciting place to be. The most important thing, and I hinted towards this, at Merck, we really focus on, and I say this with all the best intentions, all of our with all honesty, really, all of our programs for our employees focus on not just how well we do. I mean, businesses are typically in it for profit, and we have to make money, but we really leverage also and put a great emphasis on our ways of working. So how are we successful? We win as one team. We act with urgency. We focus on what matters. All of these things you'll see down on the lower right-hand side of my screen, these are not just catchphrases. These are truly how we do business. These are how our employees are evaluated on an annual basis. And so we really do focus and value the family and the human and that connection. And I can tell you, we have employees I've had 4 people this year who retired after 50 years with the company. And that's pretty amazing. We're really sad to see them go, but I mean, we're happy for them, and they've had an amazing career. So you don't see that with a lot of companies, and it's exciting to be somewhere where I know I'm going to finish my career at Merck. There's really no question about it. Let's see if I can get to the next slide here. So careers, what can you do at Merck Animal Health, right? Might surprise you. We have a lot of salespeople, and that can look very, very different depending on your area of expertise. You could be calling on veterinarians in a city. You could be going to ranches in rural Wyoming. It's really, the opportunities are endless. You could move overseas and be a sales rep, in Spain or somewhere like that. It's really, truly an amazing opportunity. Marketing, we definitely need lots of marketing folks. Our sales force come from backgrounds with biology, animal health, just across the board. There is no absolute must-have from a degree perspective. We really look for people who are passionate about animal health and the industry and who want to learn. Because if you want to learn, we can teach you what you need to know. And we have tremendous resources to do that. We have technical people. We have some amazing IT people. So if you are a technology person, we've got opportunities for you, let me tell you. You'll see the picture, customer success. These folks are, I love this team, and I've actually had the privilege of working very closely with them. They go out and get dirty in the field, and I say in the field, on the farms and the ranches, but they're technical experts, right? When I say Fitbits for cows, every one of those cows you see in that picture is wearing a necklace, if you will, that monitors their health. And so installing those kind of technologies takes a great deal of expertise and passion and commitment. But it's a very, very interesting job. Manufacturing. So if you are from the Kansas City area or familiar at all, in DeSoto, which is a small town just west of Kansas City, we have a very large manufacturing facility where we manufacture vaccines for animals. So your dogs, your cats, your cows, your pigs, a lot of those things are manufactured here in the Kansas City area. It's a very big facility. And so if you're interested in manufacturing or supply chain or anything like that, research and development, like I said, biology, we have a lot of opportunities there. Scientific affairs means more of our veterinarians, right? So they work with veterinarians to help them treat their patients the best possible method. We do have legal departments, regulatory, finance, human resources, you name it. If you can think of the career, we probably have. So as far as opportunities go, we have two real buckets for our college friends. We have internships. At this point, we've already filled our internships for the summer. We only do summer internships. But I would encourage you, we come to all of the K-State career fairs. I personally was at one this fall. Come see us. I sign up every year just because, I like to see my old stomping grounds, and believe it or not, some of my professors are still there. So it's super exciting. I love that. Although I still haven't convinced my tax professor to give me to an A. So, so much for that. But come see us. We go to the all campus career fair. We do the business career fair. I think we do another one. Honestly, I'm pinch hitting today, so I'm not the expert on that, but we're at everything. We do a great deal of sponsorship with the veterinary department there, and we've actually donated a lot of money to enhance the facilities there. So if you go out to the vet department, you'll see some of our name out there. But come see us and talk to us about internships. We have great opportunities every year. Additionally, we have what's called a Future Talent Rotation Program. This is ideal if you are going to be a junior in the fall. So we've already filled these for this coming year, but it's an amazing 18-month program. We only choose a few people. You have a rotation. You work part-time for Merck, either remote or in person, depending on what you're doing. We make sure your school is always first priority, of course. But you have a 5-month rotation, and you get to experience real world work in our manufacturing departments, our research and development team, and our commercial, i.e. sales and marketing groups. So again, this is very selective. We only have about 4 or 5 every year, but these folks are a big investment for us. So we make sure that we do everything in our control to find them a placement after they graduate. So unless something goes wrong and you don't enjoy the experience, more likely than not, you're going to have a full-time job when you graduate. And again, the thing that really drives us is our patients. And when I say patients, you see some of my little furry friends here, and our cows and our pigs, and even fish. People don't realize We serve the aqua hemisphere. So I encourage you to come talk to us, get to know Merck Animal Health. It's an amazing company, one that a lot of people don't realize exists, but we're eager to share more with you. And that is all I have.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jackie. And for all of our students here, I also went ahead and reposted that internship link, as well as the broader link to their chat. So definitely take note, take archive, and feel free to pick her brain if Merck Animal Health is of interest to you. All right. Thank you.
I'm going to try to stop sharing. I'm not really sure how.
Yeah. Let's see.
I'm-
Maybe down at the bottom or the part of your screen, it should have a little stop sharing.
Yeah, my screen got a little wonky.
Uh-oh.
So,
There we
oh,
go.
here we go. Is it
Wonderful.
off now?
Yep.
Yes,
back on
yes.
Regular screen. Thank you so much. That was a really good presentation, very in-depth. I even learned some things and I don't even work with animals, but I was like, Good.
Yeah, thank you so much. We appreciate both. Like I said, underlying theme, culture and versatility and lots of opportunity. And so I absolutely love how those two beating themes are just really showing through tonight. That's excellent. Next up, we have Hills Pet Nutrition. Spencer Smith is joining us here to talk about her company and a little bit of opportunities that are available there. Spencer, go ahead, take it away.
Hi guys, I'm gonna share my screen as well. All right, is everyone able to see it?
Yes.
Awesome. So like Chloe said, my name is Spencer Smith. I am a scientist on our product development team at Hills Pet Nutrition. I've been with the company for about 5 years now. I've always worked in product development, but I am a K-State alum and I did an internship at Hills as well in between my bachelor's and master's. So I have been where you are now. Gonna go ahead and say now so I don't forget, please add me on LinkedIn. That's a great way to connect with me. You can also reach out to me. My email is just spencer_smith@hillspet.com. Super easy. Happy to take a look at your resume in case any of the opportunities I talk about today aren't the right fit for you. I'm always available to talk about what might be with our company. So I get to follow Jacqueline, which is great because we've got a really kind of similar mission statement here. So our mission here at Hills Pet Nutrition is to help enrich and lengthen the special relationships between people and their pets. So for me, I absolutely love that I know every day I'm working on products that are going to help someone's pet be happy and healthy and live a longer life with them. That to me is something really special and really fulfilling about what we do. Oh, I don't know. Hold on, we're gonna try to reload here. There we go. Okay. So we are a global nutrition company. So we are actually owned by Colgate-Palmolive, so part of a very big parent company. And what's really great about that is it really extends so many opportunities to you. So we have global locations for Hills. We have Colgate locations all over the company, and people really take advantage of that and move back and forth between the companies. It's a great way to find opportunities to grow and explore different areas of the industry. So we have our Global Pet Nutrition Center, and it's located in Topeka, Kansas, so just a short hour away from you guys. And as you can see here, it's a really big campus. This is where I work, and it's a really cool place. So kind of all of our science and technology research takes place at this location. We also have our corporate office located in Overland Park, Kansas, and we have a number of plants as well. So we have now, I think 7 plants in the United States, and we have 3 plants located in Europe, as well as an office in Europe. So one of my absolute favorite things about working at Hills is that we have our pet partners. So at my office, we have over 450 dogs and 450 cats, and they have the best job in the world, which is just to eat food all day. And we just analyze their data to see if they like it. And it's pretty great. So that is probably the best thing, is that if I need a break from my desk, I can just get up and go look at dogs playing outside in their bark parks, or cats playing and sunbathing. So that's a really nice perk. We also just recently opened our Small Paws Innovation Center. So something that's really unique about this is that we've done a lot of research that tells us that small dogs actually don't behave the same as large dogs. So your toy poodle is not going to have the same food preferences as your golden retriever, and they're not going to digest their food the same way, and they're not going to have the same preferences. And so we are the first company to build a facility dedicated solely to looking at the nutrition for small breed dogs, especially because we know this is something that's really relevant right now. We see people continuing to move to apartments. More people are continuing to move to cities, and they just don't have the space for large breed dogs. And so small dogs are becoming more and more popular, and we want to cater to that and make sure that we're identifying and catering to those special needs for those pets. So we have over 200 people working at our Science and Technology Center, and that consists of veterinarians, vet technicians, nutritionists, food scientists, and animal care technicians. So we have people of all different science backgrounds. So my personal background is in animal science and grain science. Those are my 2 degrees, but we have biologists, we have engineers, we have microbiologists, we have geneticists, we have really kind of the entire gamut of science backgrounds. And so it's really cool to see how we're able to apply all of that to pet food, because it's kind of something that people don't normally think about. We work on over 2,000 unique recipes each year, whether these are brand new products that we're launching, making updates to existing products, maybe either for business needs, or new raw materials, things like that. And like I said, our pet partners, their whole job is just to eat the food. So in the last 5 years, they've eaten over 1.5 million meals. So they are working hard for us, but I think that they like their jobs. So this kind of just goes over how our research process works. And what I'm going to go a little bit more into the research side of things, because I think that's what's going to apply to a lot of you today. But our research and innovation team does a lot of work on finding specific ingredients, figuring out what specific health conditions may be that they can help with for animals. And they come up with new ingredient technology bundles for us to use. Sometimes it's new processing technology that can help with specific health conditions as well. And then we have a team that works to kind of come up with what the entire nutrition for that product should look like then to help incorporate those new ingredients. And then it comes to me in product development, and my job is to kind of put the puzzle piece together and figure out how can I take what they decided this animal needs and put it into a product that's going to give the pet something that they actually want to eat, because no matter how great the nutrition is, if they won't eat it, it doesn't matter. And that comes into product validation, which really comes down to our animals. They test it out for us. And from there, we work on supplying our ingredients, producing the product, and we have a product that goes onto the shelves. So what I think is really unique and really cool about what we do is that we focus on so many different aspects of pet health. It is not just on paper what's going to meet this pet's needs, what's going to taste good and people are going to buy it. We are putting so much background into this. So I want to talk a little bit about what we call our omics programs. So we have genomics, proteomics, metabolomics, and we focus on so many different things, and it's, I think, so cool. So we have found ingredients that can change which genes are being expressed in animals. And that might help an animal that has kidney disease stop expressing some of the genes that are going to cause that disease to exacerbate. We do a lot of work on looking at the microbiome. So again, going back to the kidney example, we have found an ingredient bundle that works to access the gut access between the intestines and the kidneys. And it can reduce the effects of kidney disease by nourishing certain microbes in the gut. It is really nerdy and really cool, and it is so fun for me to talk about all of the different things. And so we have all these research things. And you can see here that it directly goes into the food that we're putting out. So we have things like diets that focus on joint care, diets that help animals lose weight, diets that help animal with both food and environmental allergies. Our GI biome, which I say this is probably one of the only careers where it's okay to talk about poop at work all the time, but GI biome can solve diarrhea in animals within 24 hours, which if you've ever dealt with a pet with digestive issues, it's a really big deal. And our most recent product that we've launched is OnCare. So this provides nutrition for animals that are dealing with cancer. And it's really important to us knowing that we can make a big difference when pet owners are going through a hard time with their pets in their lives. Jacqueline kind of stole my thunder here on this one. She's got Fitbits for cows, but we do have Fitbits for dogs. So we do some really cool work actually with this technology where we say we're making the invisible visible. So we look at things like maybe it's how often a dog is scratching throughout the day. And that's something that as a pet parent is really hard for you to actually measure. And we can use this Fitbit design and actually track how many seconds per day your dog is scratching, and then feed our food and watch that number reduce. So it's really cool to be able to take that data that is often just qualitative and be able to assign quantitative values to it. So that's kind of the end of what I'm going to share with you today. I hope you learned some new things about pet food and are interested in learning more. We do have 4 internships that we're still hiring for this summer. So one of those is product design. That focuses a lot on our taste technology, but also on shelf life. They do quite a bit of lab work analyzing our food and figuring out what specifically makes our pet partners like that food. Our life science lab is hiring as well for an internship. Those are a lot of those omics programs that you saw there. Our regulatory team is hiring for a summer internship, and then our implementation and support team. So they're kind of my counterparts. They work on our products, but more on just a need-to-need basis. So if we have a new supplier, they need to sub out an ingredient, things like that. So lots of really great opportunities. We really are always just looking for people with a passion for science and a passion for pets. And especially if you have lab experience, that's a great place, but we are always willing to teach and just want people who are excited to learn. So feel free to stop and ask me questions after this, and I look forward to connecting with you guys.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Spencer. And hopefully I got all of those 4 that you still had for all of our students here in the room. I was able to post those as well as some full-time opportunities that they also have available. Even if those opportunities have passed, I would encourage you to definitely take a look at the job description. We're always talking about, and I think we'll pick the brains here of our employers in just a second, but we're always talking about optimizing or aligning your resume with the job or internship, right? And so it's incredibly important. We're not sending out resumes in mass, 100 different companies, one sample, really taking your time to tailor the content to align with the company's cultures and values as it speaks authentically to who you are, right? So we do have a little bit of time here. I do actually want to bring it back around. I was hoping we can spend maybe 2 or 3 minutes for each employer. And I was hoping you can share with the students maybe 2 or 3 bullet point resume sellers that you all look for within your companies, or what you would like to see on these students' resumes. I'm going to take it back up to the top and start with Caroline, if that's okay. But yeah, if you can share just 2-3 minutes, what would be some staples that these students can put on their resumes and CVs?
I'm just going to be really blunt. Please make sure that your resume is up to date. Give me your story. Tell me who you are in your resume. When I go out to like high schools and stuff where kids are just starting to get into the workforce and learning how to write it, I always tell them that they're creating a brochure, and that brochure is about a product that they are wanting somebody to look at and see all the positiveness about it. That product just happens to be you. And your end goal is to get in front of somebody to get an interview, because that's when the selling begins. But a lot of times your resume is not in alignment, and it isn't up to date, or it doesn't even have any dates on it. and just be very methodical, I guess, in how you put your resume together, because that is going to be how you are shown out there. Some of the other things that I look for in a resume is, well, top of the line, spelling. If you, and I know we all have spell check, but sometimes there's a spell check that you click on that isn't the right spell check. So it's got to make sense. So please make sure your resume makes sense and run it by some people. Don't just you run it by somebody in your dorm. If you're in a dorm, run it by the lady at Burger King, whoever it is, run it by somebody that they can read it so they can edit it. Yeah, that is one of the things that I find when I'm talking to somebody, and I sometimes just stop short my interview and go, okay, let's talk. I went out on a limb because your resume wasn't the best, but let's talk about how we're going to get it to be the best. I liked what I saw. I thought in between the lines, but a lot of employers won't take the time to read in between the lines. One of my big things, I don't know who's teaching or training it, but from a standpoint in this day and age, please do not put your picture on your resume. Please do not give me dates of when you graduated from high school. It is so easy to figure out how old you are. And I don't want to know how old you are. And I just don't want to know that information, because you see, I'm going down this resume of the product that you're creating so that we can talk, so we can find that right place for you within our company. And you will grow and you will thrive. And it will be, as I think Jackie said, your forever home, maybe. And that's what that's our ultimate goal. So those are just some of the little things. I know I probably went over 3 minutes, but I could talk about this all day long. I really could.
Yeah.
It is a very much of a passion for me, because I want people that are getting in front of those leaders that make that choice. I want them to look the best that they possibly can look, be it on paper or be it in person. I want their in paper to mirror their person. So that's my passion.
Yeah, thank you so much, Carolina. And I would just say, kind of summarizing some of those main points, consistency of formatting is incredibly important, right? So the spelling example, of course, telling your own story. What does that look like? Is it clean? Is it concise, right? And then most importantly, things that would avoid any sort of implicit bias, putting your picture on there, indicating your age, things like religion, right? That would otherwise expose and leave up for interpretation of the employer. We'll want to avoid that. Thank you so much, Caroline. That was wonderful. I'm going to kick it back over to Jackie and maybe share with us what are some key bullet points that you look for on resumes or CVs.
Thank you, Chloe. So everything Carolyn said was great advice. I'm not going to repeat her, but everything she said is absolutely 100% spot on. The one thing I will add to that is that I know from firsthand experience, your career placement center has great resources. Hello, please use them. You pay for them with your tuition, right? They are there, utilize them. I wish I had done better at that when I was in college. Somehow I managed to get a job. So at any rate, utilize them. What I will say is that from the Merck perspective, we have, as I mentioned, we have about 30 internships every summer. Our full-time positions they don't necessarily start at any one given time. And then we have our 4 to 5 FTRP positions. So when we are getting applications and we are going to career events all across the nation, right? For everywhere from New Jersey to Texas to California. So there is a tremendous amount of competition for those positions. You need to stand out. you know, you need to, while yes, grades are very important, anything above a 3.0, higher is always better. But a diversity in interest is also extremely important. And showing a passion for whatever you're interested in. It doesn't have to be livestock, it doesn't have to be dogs and cats. It can be whatever you are passionate about. If it's a volunteer interest that you've been involved in, we look for more than just what you did in the classroom. You know, were you involved in athletics or, you know, a Greek organization? Or again, I love the volunteer. We always look for volunteer, you know, experience, things that relate to your community, your family. Again, I can't reiterate how much Carolyn hit it on the head with her advice, but please make sure that you, as Chloe said, represent who you are and show us more than just what your academic experience has been.
Wow, thank you. Yeah, both of you. Just reiterating, you know, diversifying your interests, passion, utilizing the Career Center. Hi, Teresa and I, everybody in the back scenes here. We are here for you all. So definitely connect with us. But more importantly, holistic, right? So moving beyond the transcripts, as Jackie said, of course, that 3.0 and higher is important. So nothing less than that, right? But also understanding what is it that you want to showcase and tell them. So back to that storytelling and that passion of interest, right? Awesome. Thank you so much, Jackie. I appreciate that. Spencer, go ahead. What advice do you have for our students here?
They're taking all the good ones, but I'm going to continue to build on what Jackie said. So I absolutely think that, and what you said too, Chloe, I think tailoring your resume to who you are applying for is huge. And that can mean so many different things. So for me, when I applied for Hill, some of the things I did were underneath my degrees, I listed some of the relevant coursework that I took to maybe identify that I took specific classes that were specific to pet food and companion animal nutrition. However, some other things as well were that I highlighted things that were relevant to this job, but were not necessarily in the classroom. So building on what Jackie just said, I was in the marching band at K-State. I had more questions in my interview about my experience in the marching band, my experience with time management that came with that, my experience that came with working with and leading my peers through that, than I did about the pet food specific research I did during my master's. I talked about how I volunteered at the Sunset Zoo in Manhattan. And for me, translated to scientific communication, I was taking the small education animals and going out and explaining to little kids why we fed them what we fed them. So I was showing that I can take science and I can digest it in a way that's easy to communicate for people. These are skills I use all the time in my job that were not in the classroom, that were not in the lab. And honestly, I think really set me apart when I was doing my applications and got me a lot further in the process. So absolutely look into those experiences and rely on them. Even jobs that just seem silly and are part-time jobs, they show that you have time management, especially as a college student. It is so hard to balance work and a full classroom schedule and any extracurriculars. Those skills, they can't just be taught in business. You can be taught how to formulate pet food. You can't be that point, how to work well with others, how to function in cross-functional teams, how to work with people who have different backgrounds than you. So those things are all super important to highlight. But then especially as you get further along in your career, or if you have a ton of experience, learning how to pare it down as well to know what is applicable. So kind of like what Carolyn was saying, you know, to put everything you did in high school. If you were the president of, you know, your glee club in high school, that might not really be relevant anymore. So focus on the specific things that are relevant to what you are working on. And if you are someone who is involved in a million things, you know, pick those key things that where you can identify the skills that are applicable to that job and how you can apply those.
Yeah, thank you so much. I just want to reiterate something that Spencer just said. Identify the skills that are applicable to the job set. Okay, so maybe thinking beyond we have in a skills section, communication, comma, problem solving, comma. Instead, how do we transform those statements into active bullet statements that are relevant or encompass the role, right? So thinking really innovatively about how we can apply those skills and experiential learning opportunities to showcase and highlight your best self. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Spencer, for sharing that. I really appreciate it. Now, I am going to give a minute. I don't think I see her just in yet. We are supposed to have one more employer join us today. Her name is Callan Broderick, and she is from Seastonan Medical. Liz, what are you thinking? Did we want to break out into rooms, or what are?
Yeah, so I think she'll be joining us later. I think we can go ahead and open the breakout rooms, and when Callan gets on, I can send a message out letting everyone know that she's here to come listen, and we can go from there.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And also encouraging employers, Spencer just did it, but also if we can encourage all of our employers to post their stuff in the chat, contact information if they're comfortable, networking with students at a later time or on LinkedIn, that would be wonderful as Liz gets those set up.
Real quick before you guys go over to the breakout rooms, we did have some employers who were interested in coming and just weren't able to make it because of the kind of short time crunch. If you look in the chat, I've posted a link. There's a position that's open right now on campus in the Mariana Kistler Beach Museum of Art for a student exposition design assistant. They really wanted to get over here. Ms. Wong, I don't know if any of you guys have seen any of the exhibitions over there, but they are doing some really good and innovative stuff and a lot of interactive where they're bringing in artists, spoken word stuff that goes with art exhibits, and it's really coming out of the box. So I just wanted to put that opportunity down in the chat for anybody who might be interested in going over to look at that. Okay, and then I guess since we don't have our other person, you guys could go into your breakout rooms. Liz will get the employer set in there, and then you students can go and connect with people who you really felt some of what they were saying. This was good stuff. Thank you so much, everybody who participated. We appreciate it.
Thank you for arranging this.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. Wonderful. Now, I believe, and Liz, correct me if I'm wrong, they're allowed to, oh yeah, it just popped up, join a breakout session. So they'll be allowed to, perfect. Perfect.
So students, the employers have been assigned their breakout rooms, and so they're titled with the names of the companies, and you can go ahead and join. You can come back to the main session and join other rooms. You can move freely among them to talk to everyone if you would like to.
Thank you, Liz. Hey, Raymark, how are ya?
I'm gonna jump off now. Great job, everybody. Good start. Woohoo!
Thanks
See
so
you later.
much.